Howdy y'all, it's Russell back with Gwinnett Lawns in beautiful. Still got that summer sky. You know what, Atlanta, Georgia. Today is August the 27th? Yeah, no, 28th, August 28th, 2023. And here is the question. It rained between yesterday, last night, and this morning, 5 inches. 5 inches. It stopped raining. It's about 8:45. It stopped raining about 2 hours ago. And you guys have heard me talk about my rule. After it has rained, once the concrete in the street starts drying, then I'm good to go. However, it has rained 5 inches. Now, I'm gonna show you something. This is my rain gauge over here. All right. When this still holds water, not only did we get a lot of rain, hear this? Not only did we get a lot of rain, but the ground is very soft. So I would say my yard is about medium-ish as far as what it does when we get that much rain. So I kind of use that as a gauge, as a good median gauge. Now, I have a full day of I got a spider web on me. I have a full week of mowing. All right, I've got 8 or 9 yards that I have to do today. It is 8:55, so I should have already, if it was normal, I would have already done 1 yard and be starting on the 2nd yard. Now, the only reason that I can go ahead and start to mow is because of this guy right here. When I had my right stander, there would be absolutely no way that I would mow most of my yards right now, because the ground pressure on a stander or a sit-down zero turn is really, really heavy on the tires. I would have to wait longer in order to start if the ground were saturated. I'm not talking about the actual grass. The grass could be dry. If the sun came out right now, it would dry the grass up, but the water in the soil itself is still really saturated. So this has allowed me to, and this is so, look how dirty this thing is. It's embarrassing. But I keep it mowed, and this spider web is all over me. Ooh, if you guys don't have those Juro spiders, you are so lucky. Anyway, so this has allowed me to be able to mow and not get so far behind. So what I'm gonna do today is I'm gonna keep the camera with me. I'm not really gonna show a bunch of mowing footage, but if I find some areas that are super wet, and I just want to show you how nice the low ground pressure of this mower is, right? Now, it's not just about walk behinds. So if you know anything about like an X-Mark walk behind, the wheels and tires are so much smaller. It's these giant wheels, and I mean, these are like flotation tires. They're really, really big, and they contribute to a very low ground pressure. And that's the key. So I will say that I am contemplating another stand-up mower. It won't be a 36-inch, and no, I'm not getting rid of the trim stars. These are the mainstays for around here. Even if it was flat, I would still have them. But I need something for some of my bigger properties that's really fast, okay? These trim stars, I think 6.3 or 6.5 miles an hour is their top speed, which is a heck of a lot faster than you're gonna just walk. That's like a slow trot. But I would like to get into something again that is about 9-ish miles an hour or a little faster, because I could really decrease the time. In fact, when I had my 36 and some of these larger properties that I have, even though it was a 36 cut, I was able to get it done pretty fast. So I am thinking about getting a another stander mower. I don't know. I'm not sure which one. It would probably be between the Hustler Super S and another Wright. I really like the Wright mowers. So I don't know. I'm just kicking that around. I gotta tell you guys, I really miss my box truck. I miss it. This thing is awesome. I'm not gonna complain against this. I'm thankful to God that I have it. It's great. But obviously, the only thing that I can carry in here is one of my main mowers and a push mower, right? I can't put another full-size mower in there. If I had a long bed truck with a ramp rack, and I think you can get 2 stander mowers on there. But I don't have that. This is what I've got. This is what I'm working with. Yeah, and that dude, that's off limits. I'm not even gonna try to put the ramp. I mean, it'll fit on there. Dale makes one of these that will fit on this Tundra, but I'm not doing that to the Tundra. That Tundra pulls the trailer if I need it. But anyway, that's what I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna load this stuff up and get to my first yard. Look, it's starting to clear up. Look at that beautiful sky. And I think it's only supposed to be 80 something degrees today. It's like 70, 72 right now. So I will, I'm sure I'll find something interesting, some wet. This is just gonna be all about wetness today. All right, so I'll bring the camera on each yard with me, and hopefully we'll find something good, maybe some swamp bogging. All right, I'll see you guys on the next clip. All right, so excuse me, it is the next day, actually the next morning. I didn't have any interesting yards that were super soggy for some weird reason. I don't know. I was ready to film. I had film. There's no film in this. I was ready to video because, you know, I figured after having about 5 inches of rain, there would have been some really mushy yards, but it was no big deal. So I'm going down the street to do a yard. Now this yard, I'm gonna video this one because this Bermuda grows really tall, and I have to double cut this at a minimum. But the amount of clippings that it throws out, the grass is, I don't know what variety of Bermuda this is. It's really stringy, and I have to go over it and over it and over it, and it produces a lot of clumpy, nasty grass. I do this one first, and then I got one up the street I do. I've got like 8 to do today, and I think it's supposed to start raining again around noon. Got like an 80% chance. So God was merciful and gracious to me yesterday and allowed me to get all of my yards completed. I got all of them done, and then it started raining again last night, early this morning. A lot of thunder and lightning, and it's about 73 degrees right now, so it's very pleasant. But anyway, I'm gonna go cut this yard. I don't dread this yard. Fortunately, it goes downhill, and it's just the front yard and the side of one side of the driveway, no backyard to cut. And thank the Lord I have that PB 8010T with me, or I could not do these yards. If you're gonna cut when there's dew on the grass, you need a super strong, very, very robust blower to bust all that stuff up. And it has no problem at all doing that. So yeah. And then I have one yard I've got to do some bushes, and I got to cut some ornamental grass in another yard. So there's a lot going on. But anyway, so I'm going to get cranking, and I'll probably set you guys up on the hood. I don't have my big tripod, just got my little one. All right, let's get rolling. Make that mowing money. took about 42 minutes. Normally that yard would take me 25 minutes. So you're going to be looking at about an extra 15 minutes or so if you start before noon around here and the grass is tall. I cut that at 2 1/4. I normally cut it at 2. Probably should have cut it at 2, but yeah, it's some places it's a double cut, some it's a triple cut. But what's really weird is that in 24 to 48 hours that grass will be bright green again, just like it was before I cut it. Just like Bermuda is. When you take more than 1/3 of the height of Bermuda down, you reveal the part of the plant that is brown. So it has that dingy manila folder-ish kind of dormant look. But yeah, and if it rains again today or tonight, it may green up in about 24 hours. So Bermuda is very, very resilient, but it's sometimes, you know, you can't help it when you cut it. It's like cutting a carpet. I would prefer to cut fescue, to be honest, because the blade is green all the way almost to the ground. So you can cut way more than you can on Bermuda, and it's still green. And plus it stripes. Bermuda doesn't stripe. It's really low. It's a low grass. So 99% of my yards I cut at 2 inches. So, and have basically, that's what I cut my yard at. So, all right, well, this is just more of the same until noon. So if you don't want to deal with the little bit of extra time that it takes to blow the yard and maybe have to do an extra pass, you're gonna have to start, if you're around here, you would have to start at about noon. That's with the sun out. We have heavy cloud cover because it's gonna rain again, and it may be 1 o'clock before it, there's a spider in here. It may be 1 o'clock before it dries up. It's a gnat. Yeah, so instead of, you know, the 4 or 5 yards I have to do before noon, that's an extra hour. So maybe I finish at 5 instead of 4. But if I waited till noon, you know, now I'm trying to finish at 8:30 or 9, and I ain't doing that. Plus that's the hottest part of the day, you know, 6 around here, about 6 or 7. So you just got to deal with it. Nobody likes it. It's messy, it's nasty. But what's really good is that the first yard you cut when it's dry, all that junk that's on the deck, it just dissipates and it disappears. And you look under the deck and it's like it wasn't ever there. If you cut weeds and fescue and all that, that stuff stays clumped up. It's like a thick green snot. Bermuda is very fine. It is a very dry grass. So if it was just regular no dew, like if we get into around October, November, when it's not humid and the grass is pretty much dry, there's nothing on the deck after you finish mowing. But the worst around here is if you get a yard, it's got a bunch of dandelions and crabgrass. Oh, that stuff, you'll be scraping that deck, and that stuff is nasty. Anyway, we ain't talking about that. All right, so I think I'll end this video because you guys don't want to watch me cut wet Bermuda for the next 4 hours. But anyway, I will talk to you guys on the next video.